There have been some bad contracts in New York City sports history. Today I wanted to go over some of them. I'm not saying that these are definitively the worst ones. These are just 5 recent ones that came to my mind that I wanted to talk about. So let's jump right into it. First up on our list, we got Joakim Noah. When the Knicks first decided to give him a 4-year, $72 million contract in 2016, I really didn't hate it. Noah was someone who brought a lot of intensity, defense, spark to the team in a time where the Knicks were really in the pits. But in 53 total games, Noah averaged 4.6 points per game, shot 43% from the free throw line, and here's the part that gets me. He averaged 0.7 blocks per game and 0.6 steals per game. As I just mentioned, Noah was supposed to be this defensive guru kind of guy. You knew you were never going to get a lot of offense with him, but at the very least, you knew you were getting an elite defender who was going to pump up the team. Instead, he was the total opposite.
This man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play. No disrespect whatsoever, but I'm sorry to tell everybody the truth. The man cannot play the game of basketball.
But the Knicks didn't waste any time in cutting him, as following the 2017 season, he was immediately waived by the Knicks. I wanted to like this contract really bad, but it was really maybe the worst in Knicks history. $72 million for someone who's giving you 4.6 points per game and not even a block is just downright depressing. But things are looking up for the Knicks now, so hopefully we see a finals comeback to New York City this year. On to the next, and a Mets fan favorite in Jason Bay. This contract's been talked about a million times, but it's still worthy of a spot in my video. In 2010, Bay signed a 4-year, $66 million contract with the New York Mets. Following an injury-plagued first season, Bay looked to bounce back in his second season as a Met. He didn't. In 288 total games, Bay only accumulated a 1.8 WAR, 26 home runs, 124 RBI, a 687 OPS, and a 90 OPS plus. For any non-baseball fans watching that, that's really bad. In 288 games as a Met, he only accumulated 1.8 wins for the team. That's pretty much all you need to know about how bad this contract was. Some may make excuses for Bay, saying the injuries didn't help, or that when Citi Field had first opened, the dimensions were absolutely terrible. It was very hard to hit a home run. But even putting all that aside, if you watch Jason Bay at the plate, he just looked lost. He lost his confidence, and once you lose your confidence in New York, you could pretty much kiss your career goodbye. The Mets really tried to let this contract play out as they let him stay on the team for 3 years, but following 2013, they cut Bay, and that was that. The $66 million he took from the Mets is a straight-up robbery, and definitely a contract that no Met fan will ever forget. Now we move over to football and the New York Football Giants. Coming off his best season in 2022, which still wasn't all that good, Daniel Jones signed a 4-year, $160 million contract extension. Of that $160 million, $82 million was guaranteed. I'm going to tell you his stats during this contract. You tell me if it sounds like $82 million guaranteed. In 16 total games, Jones had 10 touchdown passes, 13 interceptions, a QBR of 37.1, 2,979 passing yards, and a record of 3-13. I've been around the Giants and Giant fans my whole life. A lot of fans didn't think that Jones was the problem here in New York, and while injuries definitely had an impact on his Giants career, Jones still looked absolutely lost at times as a Giant. The $160 million that he stole from the Giants will always go down in my mind as the worst contract that they've ever given out. They did cut their losses pretty quickly as they only let him play 2 of the 4 seasons that he was originally under contract for. But everything within the last 15 seasons with the Giants has been a complete mess. Things are looking like they're trending in the right direction now with Dart at quarterback and some other pieces around him. But all in all, this contract was a total disaster. Daniel Jones did have a great year in 2025 for the Colts. Unfortunately, that ended in injury too, so we are hoping Daniel Jones the best in recovery and a good rest of his career. Next up, we actually have a Yankee on this list. Yes, a New York Yankee on this list. Following some phenomenal seasons with the Boston Red Sox, in 2014, Jacoby Ellsbury signed a 7-year, $153 million contract. Unlike the other contracts we just talked about, Ellsbury was healthy for the most part as a Yankee, and definitely not as bad as the other contracts on this list, but still did not live up to this contract in the slightest. In 520 total games as a Yankee, Ellsbury accumulated a 9.6 WAR, 39 home runs, 198 RBI, 102 stolen bases, a 716 OPS, and a 95 OPS plus. While the Yankees signed Ellsbury to be a superstar, he was more so a league average player being paid to be a superstar, far from his days in Boston. Ellsbury wasn't awful as a Yankee, he was just mediocre. At best, he was a league average bat who was still fast and stole some bases here and there. But take Yankee fans' words for it, they thought they were getting a whole lot more out of Jacoby Ellsbury. Of the 7 years the Yankees paid him for, he played 4 of them. He never signed with another team after that. He called it quits and hung up the jersey. Definitely not the worst player on this list, but definitely not a good contract. And last but not least, we have Kenny Golladay. A lot of people are forgetting about this. I kind of forgot about this, to be honest with you. When I was doing some research for this video, I said, holy shit, Kenny Golladay was really bad. Kenny Golladay signed a 4-year, $72 million deal with the Giants in 2021. In 26 total games, he had 43 catches, 602 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown. Yes, 1 touchdown. Opposed to the other contracts in this video, I feel that Galladay's was the most undeserving. It was questionable when he signed it, and it proved everyone right. Prior to signing this contract, Golladay had made 1 Pro Bowl, and had 2 pretty good years in Detroit, but nothing crazy. To give a guy like Kenny Golladay $72 million over 4 years was just always questionable. Maybe a 1 or 2 year deal, but 4? As you could guess, he didn't last the 4 years. He signed in 2021, he was released at the end of 2022. And that was that. Really, not much to say about Kenny Golladay. That contract was just awful. And I wanted to remind everyone just how awful it was. So a quick little video here today, nothing too crazy. If you enjoy these videos, don't forget to give a like, share, and subscribe. It really helps with the growing of this channel. We have been starting 2026 off strong with a lot of videos and going live. So if you like to call up and talk to people live about sports, I try to go live once or twice a week. So make sure to check out those. I'll link one right over here. And that's that. So I'll catch you on the next one, and thank you guys for watching.